Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to another edition of Cycle QMX. I'm your host, Ryan Wood, aka Woods. Today we're going to be working on the downhill bike. Again, there's lots of work to be done. We have to put the tie rods on the bottom of the Fox shocks. I also got the wheels mounted with the new disc brakes so we can get started on that. I also had some setbacks, so we'll also talk about that as well. But we're in for a great show either way, so come along for the ride. Alright fellas, let's get right into it. So basically we have our nice shiny Fox shocks, and we have to take this end off to put a ball joint on it. Because of our trailing arm system and our tie rods, this shock has got a pivot not only side to side but up and down as well. And so I've started on the one side, so let's go ahead and show you that. So here you have it. I've completed the one side. You may be able to see here at the top, we have our existing mounting hardware, but I've also added in this ball joint. How's that? You can see the ball joint here onto our shock. I've had to remove the coil and remove the end to get it all to fit. But you can also see our tie rods are pretty much at like a 30-degree angle, which is not so great. So we're going to have some adjustments that need to be done. Get right into that. So now that I've shown you the close-up detailed version of what we're about to do, we have to take our shock, and in order to get this little piece off to the end of here, we're going to need one of these. And basically what it requires for you to take your torch and heat your top of your piece right here. But first you have to take your coil off. And that's a matter of unscrewing it until you've gotten down to the end of the threads. And then you can see there's a slight slot in here for you to slide it around the piston. Once you got all that removed, then you torch it. Be sure to take out any plastic pieces that might be in there. Like these little pieces right in here, all plastic. They will melt. Take them out first. But once you've done all that, then you've gotten down to your shock. Now you can take your new tie rod. Hopefully it's the same thread as your piston. You're going to have to drill that out a little bit. There are some modifications that need to be done to make this all work. Everything we do here is custom. This is just another one of those things. So once you've gotten all of that taken care of, then you can get to mounting it on the bike. A lot of work. So let's go ahead and do that for you. Movie magic. now that we have it apart, you can see where the old head used to stop at right here. So there's about a 1/4 inch of shank on there, and then you got about, I don't know, 3/8 of thread. And if I were just to thread this on here, it would stop and bottom out right here, because I got threads all the way to the end. So if I drill this out a little bit, which will then allow it to shank up all the way to here, maybe even a little bit further. But if I want to maintain so that when I put this all back together, our spring stops at the same place. So that will do. Okay, here it is after I wrestled it in there. Got it all back together. Now it's got to do the other one. I also added this washer to fill the spacing, and it fit perfectly right inside that little ring impression. So now it seats really nice. Alright, now that that's done, let's go ahead and move on, and let me show you the new set of wheels that we got. Check them out. I've gone ahead and mounted some 180 millimeter Tektro disc brakes on there. Now these are directional, so on the right side the disc has got to go one way, and on the left side it's got to go to the other way. Same thing with the tire pattern. They have these nice little arrows here. You want to keep those pointing forward. Sometimes you can run them in the back, flip them around if you need better braking conditions for serious downhill, but typically we're going to keep the arrows pointed forward. Got it? Good. Alright, here's our setup. Here's the top of the shock. Now I'm going to line you up right in the back. So there's your bottom of your shock, there's your top of your shock. They're pretty much aligned at this point. But as I go up, the shock goes out and to the right, and then it starts to come and curve and slightly curves and then curves back in as we get closer back to the top. Now out here, this is its max widest point, and you can see we're out about, I don't know, about 2 inches. So that tie rod, eventually our ride height will be somewhere right in here, and then we'll have this range of motion to move throughout. Right now it's down here, very steep angle, almost aligned. We've got to bring it out a little bit and reset that ride height. Since we've added those tie rod ends or ball joints to the end of the shock, it actually lengthened the length of the shock by, I don't know, about 3/4 of an inch, and which has dropped this down to this vertical angle where it should be out like this. So those tie rod ends or ball joints are going to allow for this adjustment. And if I had the Fox racing shocks on my Razor, they would come with these ball joints, but because these are mountain bike parts, they don't come with those type of ball joints. So you can see here I've added the ball joint, which allows us to move our shock from side to side without binding. And then here is the ball joint on the other end that I've also added, so it can pivot on our mounts that we've created here. Now, I may also actually have to cut these mounts off as well because of that 3/4 of an inch that we had to add, or that ended up being added by adding this tie rod. So that's why I didn't end up building the other side, but I did go ahead and mount the wheels and the disc brakes accordingly. So now you're all cut up. There we have it. Cut off the shock mounts. Now to reposition them. Alright, now that we got the tie rod set up, we got our seat back up on here. Now we can see how much clearance we have before we tack on the shock mounts again. Alright, before we get too carried away, let's check for clearances. I'm going to go ahead and mop the tire back up and see what we're dealing with, since this is probably about the 3rd time I've put that bracket on there. It's part of the game, custom. Alright YouTube, it's all marked up. Break it down, back it up. it. Time to get dirty. On there now, so I'll go ahead and mop the shock up one more time. Once again, here we are, mopped up, backbone. This time, we got a ball joint there. Joint there. Nice little tack weld. Little tack weld on the bottom. There we are from the rear. Looking pretty good. Nice alignment. Just let you know I still have not cut the seat. Waiting till the very end just to make sure that I don't need to cut it. I don't need to cut it. Beautiful to me. How about you have a look? What do you think, GQ? It's coming along. Just a few things to point out. The angle here is not ideal. Ideally, we'd want it more like this. But because of the clearance issues we have right now, this is the best we're going to get. It is a prototype. Time will tell. And we can always just build it again. So basically this is going to wrap it up for today. We got the shocks readjusted. We got the shock mount readjusted. Go ahead and throw the wheel on there for you so we can check it out. What do you think? I think we're getting there. About bringing in for a close-up. Oh, and when it does, it's gonna be big. Still got some adjustment on the camber, but luckily I left myself plenty of room with those tie rod adjustments to be able to adjust anything I need. Alright, YouTube. I think that's it for today. I'm tired. I think we're looking pretty good. Now I just got to repeat the process on the other side. We got brakes, we got rotors, we got the shock mounted. Here's some final welding. Bada boom, bada bing. This thing's gonna be done. Till then, enjoy. Alright, fellow YouTubers and builders, this is going to bring us to a conclusion of another episode of Cycle QMX. I think we're getting closer. Check out those rotors. Check out that shock. Starting to look like something gonna handle something.